Feel like I've been waiting all my life to get this one. Amber Empire, French Avenue. Is it worth the hype? I have an interesting, non-interesting, objectively subjective take. Sounds about right. And it's Fat Boy Friday. Let's get into it.
Jello Beats, holla at me.
Yeah, said it's Fat Boy Friday. Fat Boy family, come swing my way. Let me tell you about the best fragrance of the day. And you don't like it, shorty, you can hit the highway. But on your way, y'all, please hit that like button. Hit subscribe, pump it up, baby Joe Budden. Still staying true to this old fragrance game. It's Fat Boy Finesse, baby, ain't nothing changed. Yeah, I said it's Fat Boy Friday. Hey, I said it's Fat Boy Friday. Hey, I said it's Fat Boy Friday. Guess what? It's Fat Boy Friday. Yo, what's going on, party people, Fat Boy family? I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you sound better than what I do. I'm feeling the slightest bit better, but this voice is still not cooperating. But nonetheless, you know, we can't let the week go out without giving you, you know what I'm saying, Fat Boy Friday. It's the hottest thing on Fridays, you know what I'm saying, on the internet. But I appreciate you rocking out with your boy. Do me a favor, feel free, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and while you're ready, go ahead and click the bell to get me notified every single time I post new content to the channel. But let's go ahead and jump right into today's conversation. All right, it's no secret, this is probably one of the more hype releases that everybody was waiting on in 2025. Again, just in case you missed the pre-roll intro, I don't know how you did, but we have French Avenue, and this is Amber Empire, which is supposed to be their take on a beautiful amber, woody, sweet, spicy vanilla DNA, none other than Blonde Amber from Clive, the house of Clive Christian. Now, y'all know how we do. We talk about the 4 Ps. We talk about presentation, we talk about profile, we talk about performance, and we talk about price. And we're gonna go ahead and talk about all of those things. So let's go ahead and get into the bottle. Cheesy presentation. I wish I had the box. I gotta go back to actually showing the boxes. I know people don't care about boxes. I do, I don't, depending on what it is. This bottle is a fingerprint magnet though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe it's because my hands are greasy or whatever, but you can see that. You see all the smudges and everything. This is a fingerprint magnet. Honestly, I'm in a season in my life where I'm just kind of over cheesy bottles. I don't know. It's just something about this. It just looks really cheesy. That could be me, but it has some nice weight to it, nice heft to it. This looks like it could have been Loki's alter ego or something. I don't know, something out of Thor, maybe, you know, like a Cyclops or something like that. This cap actually does have a little bit of heft to it, so it's not like it's plastic, but it's not, it's hard plastic or whatever. And then, like I said, you know, nothing too special about the bottle other than it being a serious fingerprint magnet. And then, you know, we all know why you're here. No pressurized atomizer or whatever. So since I sprayed it, let's go ahead and jump right into the profile. Now, just so we're making sure I'm qualified to have a conversation about this, I told you guys before, I do not have a full bottle of Blonde Amber. I'm definitely thinking about going ahead and copping one because it is definitely a beautiful profile that is perfect for this time of the year. I mean, who doesn't like amber? Who doesn't like woods? Who doesn't like tonka bean and vanilla and olibanum? And I think there's some orange in there. And it's a lot going on. Like, if you ever look at the note breakdown for Blonde Amber, it is crazy how they arrived at this profile. And you kind of see the difference when you get into these other fragrances. But I told you, it was one of the first samples that I ever bought from Scent Split, you know, so we got that itty bitty tiny sample right there. And then I was able to get another sample, you know what I'm saying, from the Frag Meetup. And then, you know, shout out to Max Aroma. I think I ended up getting a free sample, you know what I'm saying? It's a 5 ml. Boom, there you go. So we still got some juice or whatever that we can really go through, you know, to kind of get some testing done. All right, as it relates specifically to the profile, I'm struggling with this. Well, I'm not struggling. I'm pausing a little bit because I did go into this with a preconceived notion. I'm not going to say who they are, but they know who they are. Some people were adamantly like, they don't like it. Not that it's not good, but based on it being inspired by Blonde Amber, they was like, you know, and you guys have heard me have strong takes like that, even when it's come to Hawass Tropical, not Tropical, Hawass Malibu, which was supposed to be La Bola Parfum, smells nothing like it, you know, so I trashed it. I still don't like, I don't care what it's supposed to be like. Give me Tropical, we're good to go. And then I had some other people that love it. You know what I'm saying? So this is why we tell you, get your nose on it, because fragrance truly can be subjective. What I'm going to say about this is, let's start with where I left off with the last comparison. So you guys know the last time we talked about Blonde Amber, we talked about these two fragrances. We talked about Farid Al Arab from Maison Asrar. All right. And then we talked about Art of Arabia 3 from the House of Lattafa. All right. I'm going to tell you like this. These two fragrances right here represent the DNA the most. If you're talking about what's going to be the closest to the DNA from opening to dry down, Maison Asrar and Amber Empire represent the DNA the most. All right, I'm going to get more detailed in a second. Remember, I talked about it in terms of EQ, as far as equalization, that if you want more treble, go with Lattafa. If you want more bass, go with Maison Asrar. That still remains true. With the Lattafa version, the dried fruits are kind of amplified. It's a bit fresher. There's something lighter. There's something airier. There's something fresher. There's something more vibrant about the way Lattafa approaches the DNA. To me, they actually make it more wearable, which is why I like this one. And I think this is why my boy liked this one too. It's not closest to the DNA, but it's more wearable. All right. Honestly, in the full experience from opening, you get about 70-75% of the way there. And then as it starts to dry down, you get closer. But honestly, I don't even know if it even gets 80% of the way there. So this really goes between like 70 and 75% of the way there. All right. As we deal with the Maison Asrar, to me, outside of the alcohol blast that you do get in the opening, once that settles after about, you know what I'm saying, 10-15 seconds, you get more mid, more bass. It's a little bit more dense to me. It kind of goes straight to the dry down aspect of the DNA. So you don't get a lot of those dried fruits that shine through, but the amber, the tonka bean, the vanilla, all of those things, the woods, the cashmere, all of that's in the base. It kind of goes straight for the jugular and was like, yo, let's just skip all of the particulars. Let's get straight to dessert. Let's get straight to action. And this one also, in my opinion, has the best performance, even though we're not quite there yet, specifically with this one. This one right here has a more Oriental style feel, which is cool for me, because if I was to take a fragrance test and you asked and trying to figure out what my profile is, I'm going to fall in that Oriental floral type of category. So that's why you guys know I'm not afraid of feminine leaning fragrances or whatever. This leans more Oriental. I get a little bit more spice out of this one. I wish I got more dried fruits. I get more amber, I get more tonka, but I don't get enough of the fruit. And I'm actually wearing it right now. I have Blonde Amber on my left hand, and then on my right hand, I have Amber Empire. Blonde Amber is the clear winner. I think this is one of those situations we don't need a clone war. You just need to save the money and try to get a full bottle of the OG, because it's just that good. But in terms of this, I will say I'm disappointed because of the amount of time it took for us to get this. Also, I hate to say it, and I got to judge it harshly, I think this is going to need some time. You guys know I hate the whole maturation thing. The maceration, need to let it sit. But I think this will be a fair assessment for people that have patience, we're going to need to come back. I've had this for a week and I've wanted to get some time in with it. I wanted to get some wearing in with it just to really kind of see. Like I said, I'm not just trying to jump into first impressions, you know, because I got to come back and talk about it anyway. So it's like, let's get a little bit of time in it and see, do some comparison and see what it is. I get more of an Oriental take, but as the fragrance continues to live, it does get close to the Blonde Amber profile. You get between like 80 and 85% there. You know what I'm saying? So this sits more, you know how we get into the, you have different levels of EQ. You have simplified EQ, which is just mid, high, and low. And then you have high, mid, high, low, high, mid, low, mid. This sits more in the low mid. You know what I'm saying? So if I said, if we're using Blonde Amber as the reference point, as we're saying mid in the middle, not because it's a mid fragrance, but middle as in terms of neutral. If I said Fareed Al Arab from Maison Azrar was more bass, more lows, this one falls in between where you have more of that low mid closest to the mid. This one gets closer. Like I said, they just don't have the dried fruits here. That's the biggest thing. If the dried fruits were more present here, I think that it would be better. I also get a feel, I don't think there's any here, but I do, it could be the Tonka. There's a honey aspect here that's a little bit different. A honey aspect that comes off a little bit different than the OG to my nose. Again, fragrance is subjective, I'm just telling you. And normally I don't spend as much time on the profile, but I'm really giving you the nuances of what I've experienced again. So it's not bad. It's not bad. Worth the hype, I think that's yet to be determined. I think based on the price, you're talking sub $50. I think Jumbo Shop is $55. I think Frag Flex is $50, Fragrance Lord, and maybe $50 in places that I've seen. I'll try to drop links down in the description where you can get it. But for basically a $50 fragrance compared to, I think we're at 40, 45 now. In Art of Arabia 3, you can probably get between $35 and $40. I don't know. I'll post the links to all of them and you choose, get what you want to get. It's not bad, but as far as hype, I don't know. Presentation, I'm not too concerned about that because who really cares? We care about the juice. Profile, you get 80% of the way there. And I think as it continues to matriculate through the maturation process, I think you can getting in maybe like 85%. But it's pretty good. Like, it's pretty good. I gotta say, it's pretty good. Like I said, we just talked about price, you know, and then as far as performance, I think that's the biggest downside right now, which is why I'm saying I think it could take some time. Because I've worn it twice so far intentionally, and then just kind of wearing it around the house. After about an hour or two, it does start to get in that skin scent category. Now, when you spray it, it's not the room filler that Blonde Amber is. The profile is strong. Like if you're going somewhere, this is one of those ones you spray right before you get out the car and you go where you're going. You know, scent bubble projection is going to do what it do. But this is a fragrance where it's like, I'm here for a good time, not necessarily a long time, where it's Clive Christian. You're going to get some longevity out of it. Now, right now, like I said, after about an hour or two, it gets into that skin scent range. And then I'm able to notice it roughly about 5 hours later. If I'm being nice, I would say 6, but more like not even 5.5 hours. Could that get better? Potentially. Like I said, we're still at the early part of fall. So as we get ready to get deeper into the winter, we'll revisit this as we get closer to Thanksgiving and get into the deep parts of Christmas and holiday season. And then I'll think we'll figure out where we stand. But again, worth the hype, you know, to be determined. $50 fragrances, you guys know clones. Gone are the days of getting $20, $25 clones. As the materials get better, as the exposure gets better, as the perfumers get better, as the quality of oils increases, you're going to end up spending more money. So that did take a little bit longer than what I would have liked it to for a single review. Nonetheless, I wanted to make sure I explained all of those nuances to you so you can make an informed buying decision. Honestly, my favorite rendition is probably the Art of Arabia 3, just because of that freshness that it has. It's lighter, it's airier, it's a different take. aside from Blonde Amber itself. I kind of appreciate what Lattafa did with it. But if you're looking for something closer, like I said, if you want performance, go to Masonized Raw route. If you want smell, go the French Avenue route. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much that. But do me a favor, let me know in the comments, which one do you have? Do you have any of them? Do you think it's just best to get the OG? Which one, are there any of these that are on your Black Friday list, Christmas list, this, that, and the third? And while you're doing that, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button while you're at it. Go ahead and click the bell so you can be notified every single time I post new content to the channel. But until next time, y'all be easy. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys in the next video.